On this what they come from.
All right, should we start? Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. So come to verse number 7. Let us chant these 20 practices. Amanitvam adambhitvam Amanitvam adambhitvam Ahimsa kshantirajyavam Ahimsa kshantirajyavam Acharyopasanam shaucham Acharyopasanam shaucham Stairyam atma vinigraha Stairyam atma vinigraha Indriyartheshu vairagyam Indriyartheshu vairagyam Anahankara evacha Anahankara evacha Janma mrityu jara vyadhi Janma mrityu jara vyadhi Dukkha doshanudarshanam Dukkha doshanudarshanam Asaktir anabhishvanga Asaktir anabhishvanga Putradara grihadishu Putradara grihadishu Nityam cha samachittatvam Nityam cha samachittatvam Ishtanishtopapatishu Ishtanishtopapatishu Mai chananya yogena Mai chananya yogena Bhaktir abhyabhicharini Bhaktir abhyabhicharini Viviktadesha sevitvam Viviktadesha sevitvam Aratirjana samsadi Aratirjana samsadi Adhyatma jnana nityatvam Adhyatma jnana nityatvam Tattva jnanartha darshanam Tattva jnanartha darshanam Etad jnanam iti proktam Jnanam iti proktam Ajnanam yadatonyatha Ajnanam yadatonyatha Amanitvam adambhitvam. We sing in the morning Amanitvam. Why identification, egotism related to our worldly accomplishments, possessions, identity? It is just the opposite of Advaita. Advaita is the unlimited. If I take pride in my limited identity, in the body, in the mind, in my possessions, in my achievements, though they may be great, that limits me. My true glory is that I am the Atman. I am Brahman. All of this is coming and going by the grace of God. Some achievements are there, some good things are there, some bad things are also there. Those have to be remedied and we'll struggle. One interesting point before I go ahead. Vedanta is taught in two ways. It said Vidhi Mukha, Nisheda Mukha. Nisheda Mukha is Neti Neti. Not this, not this. I am not the body, not the prana, not the mind, not the intellect. Why not? They are there, but I am the witness. I am not those. They are objects. They are changing. I am unchanging. I am conscious. They are not conscious for these reasons. Drishyatva, Savikaratva, then Jadatva, because they are jada, insentient, because they are savikara, vikari, changing, because they are drishya. I am the drashta, seer. I am the nirvikara, unchanging. I am conscious, chaitanya. Therefore, the two cannot be the same. I am different from the kshetra. This is the whole thing is called the field by Sri Krishna. Now, one interesting thing here is, this is one way of teaching Vedanta, neti neti, not this now. But also another way of teaching Vedanta is Vidhimukha. Vidhimukha is that you are Brahman, you are Atman, you are Chaitanya, you are Satchidananda, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham, or Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. All of these are positive ways of saying the same thing. So this is at a very high level. This is very high philosophy. But the same thing is there in our day-to-day lives. When we observe guna dosha, good and bad things, practices to be done and what is not to be done, we have to, that which is good, vidhimukha means these are good qualities, amanitva, madhampitvam, we see them in others and we try to inculcate them. See, all of them are pure consciousness. Everybody is Chaitanya, not touched by the good and bad. This is an interesting thing about Advaita Vedanta. They are Satchidananda. They are not touched by the good and bad. So what is the use of the good and bad in my spiritual life? When I see it in myself and others, our normal reaction is to praise the good and to condemn the bad. One sadhu said, "Wo girega." The one who is praising and condemning, see, good and bad are anatma, not the self. They are not self, they are objects, they are kshetra. The more we dwell on the good and bad of others, the more we are focusing on the anatma. Let us know that the others are none other than Chaitanya, none other than Kshetragya, pure consciousness. So the only use of the good and bad, seeing the good and bad in others, is to make sure that those good qualities are reflected in our own lives and the bad qualities, nisheda, that in my own life, see, that bad quality is doing so much harm in the lives of those people, though they are pure consciousness, and the particular life of the jiva, it is harmful. It is taking that person away from spirituality. So it should not come in my life. These good qualities should come in my life. That is the only purpose, not to praise or condemn. There's a very good person, very spiritual person, a useless person, loser. That will come into our lives in that case. That will tie me to the anatma. What my point here is vidhi mukha, nisheda mukha, positive teaching, negative teaching. At the highest level, neti neti, not body, not mind, witness consciousness, negative way of indicating. Positive way of indicating pure consciousness, immortal existence, consciousness, bliss, Satchidananda, Chidananda, Rupa, Shivoham. Positive way. But practically in day-to-day life, the positive and negative qualities that we see around us, to dwell on that only to the extent, not to praise or condemn others. All others are Brahman anyway. But to make sure that the positive qualities increase in our lives, we give importance to them. The negative qualities are careful so that they do not spoil our lives. In both ways, positive way and negative way, everybody else is teaching us. Everybody is teaching us with positive, vidhimukha, and negative also, nishedamukha. All are teaching us how to progress in spiritual life. So this is the Vedantist way of looking at the good and bad qualities in others. Anyway, now next, adambhitvam, amanitvam, adambhitvam, dambha. We say in Sanskrit, Hindi, Bengali, Dambha, Darbha, we say in the same way. Dambha means pride and arrogance, negative sense, too much arrogance. Here there is a special meaning. Dambha, first manitvam, then dambhitvam. Manitvam means I identify myself with the qualities, the good qualities which I have, and I feel glorified by them, by my learning, by my wealth, by my youth, by my beauty, by my popularity, which are actually there, and I feel glorified by that. I should not, but I feel glorified by that. The next step when I do that is to extend it beyond what is actually there. What they call image, building an image, putting a spin on it. This is the age for that. Advertisement, social media. Earlier used to do it for companies, for brands and products. Now do it for individuals also, each of us. What is the product? You yourself are the product which you are selling on social media. So how good my life is, how nice my life, far better than what it is. What is projected on social media is actually is not the reality. Many people say we are feeling awful when we look at young people, young kids. They say that we feel awful when we look at the social media posts of our friends. Why? Their life seems so much better than my life. And so, somebody's mobile is going on? Outside. Okay. So somebody's life is better than my life. More glamorous, more cool. More glamorous, more cool than my life. It's not true. This is called dambha. Projection of mani means being attached to, glorified by what actually the qualities and characteristics in my life. Dambha means what is actually not there. That also I project. Because I want to be glorified by it and what I have, my learning. See, I know something, I always try to show more than I know. Truly a learned person shows much less than that he or she knows. Looks very humble. I have seen some of the greatest scholars. They look like very ordinary people. They don't even want to project their knowledge. We all know. In each of our lives, you are all professional people, experts in your fields. You must have come across in your life people who are really great in your subject, in the field. And most ordinary in their behavior, they don't project it. It's when I am not all that good and I need to show. My identification is with my knowledge. I need to show I know more than I actually do. My identification is with my wealth. I need to show I am wealthier than actually I am. You need to see this in Manhattan. There are a lot of people, they live on credit. So their wealth, their lifestyle, actually it belongs to them or not is little doubtful. So nice, such a nice apartment, nice car. Then they come to what to repossess. A bank agent will come and take possession of it, which means it was bought on credit, on loan, which you cannot pay back anymore. Why do you do that? And why project it? Why show it so much? This is called dhamma. To show what I am not and to be glorified by that. What's wrong in this? First of all, it's false, deceptive. And I am basing the truth. I know the truth. Unfortunately, my happiness in showing how great I am is always poisoned by the fact that I know the truth. I am not all that great. And what is worse is, from an Advaitic perspective, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to glorify the Atman by the non-Atman? Are you trying to glorify Advaita by the Advaita, dualistic? Are you trying to glorify consciousness by the material, by matter? No, it's just the opposite. So Sri Ramakrishna says, if you have a string of zeros, the more you can keep adding zeros, the total is still zero. But if you put 1 before them, then the zeros get value. 1 zero will make it 10, 2 zeros will make it 100, and so on. So the zeros are all that we gather in life, and we identify with that and show that my own glory. And we keep adding to that, dhamma, from manitvam to dambhitvam. So here Krishna says, reverse it, deliberately, consciously, adambhitvam. Even if you have a lot of glory in learning, wealth, whatever it is, show less than what it is. Don't give importance to it. So this is adambhitvam. Then next comes ahimsa. And naturally, himsa is violence. Have you heard of 81 types of himsa, 81 types of violence? One of the great proponents of Bhagavad Gita in this day and age was one sadhu in Uttarakhand. It's called Ram Sukdas. He passed away just a few years ago at the age of 104 and 105. So he used to live in one ashram called Gita Bhavan on the bank of Ganga. So in his commentary, he has a massive commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Sadhak Sanjeevan in Hindi, which is very good from the perspective of a sadhaka, from the spiritual practice. So there he talks about violence. It can be done either what he says, krita karita anumodita. Krita means I do violence, or I make somebody else do violence on my behalf, or I permit something to be done, violence to be done. All of those are himsa. So be careful not to do violence, not to make others do violence on my behalf, and not permit it also in my range of influence. So these are three types. And these three types also, it can be done from, what is the source of that? It says, krodha, lobha, moha. Violence is done out of anger, irritation, anger. Then violence is done out of greed. I want it. I don't care if it hurts other people. And snatch it away. Whether from a child snatching away toys from somebody else, to a rich person dispossessing others, powerful people. And then moha, out of delusion. This Hindu, Muslim, Republican, Democrat, this is such a huge division. And so much anger and passion. It's out of delusion. The issues are real. But why is the anger there so much? It's a problem to be solved. And you can take some positions on it. But this becomes our identity. And then we fight on this basis. Violence on the basis of politics, religion, all that. It is more. Then another aspect of violence is that how does one do it? It could be physical, actually hitting somebody, killing somebody, harassing, torturing somebody. It could be verbal, harsh language, or it could be mental in the sense of angry thoughts, violent thoughts against others. Kaya mana vakya. Kaya means body, vakya means speech, and mana means mind. Also, violence can be of different degrees. Ram Sukdasi says, mridu madhyama ati. So mild could be irritation, madhyama could be anger, and then ati could be fury, rage. Now, if you combine them, so three types of violence, whether you do it yourself or this violence is committed by others, or they make others do it, or you permit it to be done. Three types. Now, each of those three types can also be done, out of anger or greed or delusion. Krodha, lobha, moha. So 3 into 3, 9 types. You see what I mean? Then all these 9 types, they also can be done at a physical level, verbal level, mental level. Kaya, vakya, mana. So 9 into 3, 27 types. And then they could all be, each of them, these 27 types could also be, mild or medium or extreme. Mridu, madhyama, ati. So you have 27 into 3, how much is that? 81 types. So you have 81 types of himsa. But that means there's 81 types of ahimsa also, to not to do that. Anyway, that's secondary. The whole idea is not to give place to himsa, that is violence, in our hearts, and not to express it in language and in action. The one who it's like somebody said that violence, himsa, is like a fire if I light it in my own heart, first you have to light it in your own heart. Then only it hurts somebody else. You express it through harsh words or action. It hurts somebody else. But this fire will burn the heart where it is lit first and then burn somebody else. So that's why that's the double foolishness of ahimsa. From an Advaitic perspective, whom am I getting angry with? It is my beloved Lord alone. Kshetragyam japi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharat. Krishna himself is saying in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Who the one I am getting angry with? Krishna is there. The truth is that Krishna is there. The Lord is there. My own self, Satchidananda is there. This is called there is this golden rule of ethics in all religions. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What is the common rule of ethics found in every religion? It is that we should behave with others as we want them to behave with us. It's called the golden rule. Gita also, Sri Krishna says, Atmopamnena sarvatra samam pashyati yo Arjuna, sukham va yadi va dukkham, sayogi paramo mata. O Arjuna, the one who sees equally everywhere, whether it is sorrow or joy, as it is for me, it is like that for them also. As pain hurts me, pain hurts that one also. As joy pleases me, joy pleases that one also. Those are the other people. So, as I try to avoid pain and bring joy here, I should try to avoid pain and bring joy there. This is golden rule. This is a golden rule. If you go to the United Nations headquarters in New York, in Manhattan, if you go to the third floor of the headquarters, written in big rock letters, the golden rule in all religions. It says that behave with others as you want them to behave with you. This was actually, this sculpture was placed by Nancy Reagan, Ronald Reagan's wife, first lady at that time. She placed it there. Ahimsa, that's why ahimsa is so foolish. Do you want others to hurt you? We never want others to misbehave with us. So therefore, we should not misbehave or hurt others. Before hurting others, before being angry with others, before committing violence against others, we have already hurt ourselves because we have lit that fire within us. Not only that, when we hurt the other, the real reason why the golden rule is so important is because the other is God. More important than that, the other is yourself. We want others to behave with us the way we should behave with others the way we want them to behave with us, because we want to be happy. But we are there in the others also, because here the real reason for the golden rule is given here in the 13th chapter. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. You are consciousness in that body mind, yes. But you, the same consciousness is in that every body and mind. So as in that body and mind, you're trying your best to make yourself happy. You should also try to make yourself happy. Yourself, your capital S self, happy in all those bodies and minds, because it is yourself. It's not another. Those bodies are others. Those minds are others. But the self in those body mind is you. You see the logic here. So ahimsa. Ahimsa is directly connected to Advaita, non-duality. Mahatma Gandhi, he based his whole philosophy on ahimsa. And he drew it from the Gita, he drew it from Jainism. So, in Jainism, ahimsa is central. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, in one place, somebody writes to him during the freedom struggle against the British. Somebody said that we understand ahimsa, and truth also we understand satya, because we should be truthful. Who can say that we should not be truthful? And ahimsa is good strategy against the British because they are so powerful, they have guns and all. But why are the other things like brahmacharya, parigraha, all the other things he insisted on? And Mahatma Gandhi writes in a letter that they don't understand. They think that my ahimsa, which I am recommending, is a strategy. It's not a strategy. It's a spiritual practice. And it works when it is combined with others. If you try to practice truth without ahimsa, you will end up telling untruths. If you try to practice ahimsa without telling the truth, you will commit himsa at some point. Truth, ahimsa, brahmacharya, self-control, aparigraha, non-acceptance of possessions, gifts and all that. All of these things go together. They are easier when practiced together. Very difficult, impossible if you try to practice them separately. I will tell the truth. I am going to be a truthful person, but I can be violent. I have no control over myself. I'll be forced to tell the falsehoods sometimes. So these practices all go together. Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, shanti. Shanti means forgiveness. It sounds like shanti. Shanti and shanti are different. They are very closely related. Shanti in Sanskrit, in Hindi, in many Indian languages, shanti is peace. When you are centered in your real nature, I am Satchidananda, you have shanti. The Mandukya Upanishad, 7th mantra, very powerful. It tells you that you are Turiya. He gives the name for the Atma, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. The name of the Atma, Satchidananda, one name is Shantam, is peace. You're not that you are peaceful, you are peace itself. The Atman is peace itself, which cannot be destroyed or disturbed. In the Bible, it is called peace that passeth understanding. Very interesting. If you take it literally, peace that passeth understanding, understanding is buddhi. Peace is shanta. What is beyond the buddhi, higher than the buddhi, witness of the buddhi, Atma. And Atma is peace itself, shanta. Shanti, Shanti is an active forgiveness of the injury caused to you. Yes, you don't want to injure anybody. But what happens to us is, if people trouble us, and people will trouble us, there is an immediate reaction of hitting back, of taking revenge. So this reaction must be stopped. Stopped by what? Forgiveness. That is called kshanti. Unless there is a deliberate, conscious attempt at forgiveness, you cannot hold on to the Advaitic attitude. Your teeth bite the tongue. Will you break the teeth? No. Because you are the teeth, you are the tongue also. You will take care that the teeth will not bite the tongue, but you will not have hatred against the teeth. Similarly, when one person abuses you, irritates you, does actually some harm to you, you have to protect yourself. You should not be a fool. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Bhakta avi to boka avi kya. If you are a bhakta, devotee, does not mean you have to be stupid or fool, let people exploit you. No. But there should be no inner anger or revengeful attitude against that person. That person is doing that because, why? As pure consciousness, you and that person are same. It is just the mental coating in that person which is making that person act in a petty way, in a greedy way, in an angry way. You don't react internally to that. That is shanti. From inside, you forgive. Once I had seen in one of our ashrams in India, big building, and there is a glass window at the top. And a little bird and I heard a sound, tuck, 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 sound like that. And so what this little bird is fighting with its own reflection. It is seeing its own reflection in the mirror and going and hitting it and bouncing up the window. Again going and hitting it, bouncing up the window. So much fury, so much anger. And how foolish. What is it fighting against? Not only that other reflection bird has no anger against it. There is no danger there. It does not even exist. It is you yourself. And here in Shanti, you see the Advaita Vedanta says, Kshetragyam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. The consciousness here, when I say I react in anger against the movement of that, against the behavior of that other person, just like that little bird is coming towards me. Why is it coming towards me? I will go and hit it. Similarly, I am reacting against I myself. See, kama, krodha, lobha. Lobha, greed. Greed is what? Money vritti, wealth vritti. Vritti in the mind it must arise in the mind, then only in behavior. It must arise. Money, possessions, I want more, 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 more. It is called lobha vritti in the mind. Money vritti. Kama, pleasure, sense pleasure. With the desire for another person's body. Pleasure vritti. Kama vritti. But krodha vritti is where that anger comes. It is for the hatred for another person. But that is especially foolish because that other person is you yourself. See, there are gradations of it. Tamasic mind, cowardice. When somebody, the situation is somebody misbehaves with you. Somebody actually does something wrong. Such things happen in the world. Now to retreat from that, run away from that, not react to that out of fear, that is tamasic. That is not shanti. Forgiveness is the position of a powerful person. Shanti. So tamasic reaction is cowardice. Rajasic reaction is violence, krodha, himsa, anger. Somebody is threatening me, I will hit back. One blow is given, I will give 10 blows back. That is rajasic. Then there is a rajasic to sattvic. Between rajas and sattva there is pratihimsa. There is violence, but it is calibrated. Just enough to bring that other person under control or stop that person. So like a policeman will do, like a trainer, a soldier will do. Not out of just desire for violence. It's just you're legally allowed to use violence in order to exercise your duty. Like Arjuna is going to do in this battle, supposed to do. So that is not rajasic, that's not sattvic also. There's somewhere in between. That is the rajasic tendency towards violence that is controlled by sattva guna in the mind. So sometimes policemen are, there's inquiry, there are scandals, why there's police shooting, police beating. Why are we upset with that? We are upset because this person has been given special permission by society to use violence, but has misused it. So we must be extra careful where people are given power so that they don't misuse that power. Using that power requires rajas controlled by something. Misusing that power means the rajas has gone out. I dislike this person, I am angry with this person, I have got permission to use violence, I will use violence limitlessly. No. So that is the in-between, rajas and sattva. And ahimsa is sattvic. So shanti comes at that sattvic level. Now the practical thing is depending on where you are. Suppose you are a police person, suppose you are a lawyer, suppose you are a parent, suppose you are in position of authority, you may have to make a show of scolding somebody, being stern with somebody, taking action. If you're in an organization, you have to. Otherwise, it will fall apart. It's against your actually responsibility. If somebody is disturbing the atmosphere, creating a problem, you are not fulfilling as an administrator. You are not fulfilling your responsibility to the rest of the people in the department or organization if you don't stop that person. I am shanti. I forgive. Then your boss will say, I fire you. So the balance is important. This is more internal. Internally, there should be no anger or resentment. A lot of people have it. That's why spirituality is difficult. They build up resentment. A whole list. There's one problem in spiritual life: attachment. Father, mother, husband, wife, family, friends, children, great attachment. That is a bondage. Krishna will talk about it. And also another kind of attachment, my enemies. Long list. Mentally I have, this person said such and such thing. That person did that. That person may have forgotten. Who is the loser here? I am the loser. I am holding on to it in my life. Sometimes it becomes important. And I will not let go of my list of enemies and let my list of grudges because it has become part of my identity. But that's so foolish. It keeps on poisoning my life and gives me a jaundiced view of humanity. But here Krishna is saying just the opposite. The God you want to attain is in these beings whom you don't like. So, shanti, amanitvam, adambhitvam, then ahimsa, shanti, arjavam, isn't it? Arjavam. Arjavam, riju. Sanskrit word riju, from which arjavam has come. Riju means straight, straightforwardness, right? So arjavam means simple, straightforward. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, one thing about shanti I remember, see, there is this forgiveness comes from strength. One sadhu, I really liked this attitude. The sadhus also, monks also gossip. He said this, that person said that. So in the Himalayas, this happened. I know these people. So this one monk who was very strong renunciation, lived by himself, begged for his food, non-dualist, Advaitin. So some other ashram, nearby ashram, two sadhus came to meet him and said, I'll tell you in Hindi and translate. आप जानते हैं महात्मा जी वो लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं आपके बारे में? Do you know, Swami ji, what those people that ashram they are saying about you? His response straight away, sab sach. It's all true. Didn't even ask what are they saying? What are they saying? I don't know what they are saying about me. It's all true. Blank check, assign. You put in whatever amount you want. Then they sadhu say, "Arey, aap to gussa ho gaya, you're getting annoyed." No, I'm not annoyed. You want to know whether that gossip is true or not. I think it's true. Good, finish. I'm not even interested in what they want to say. So that is the shanti from the highest angle, from the highest perspective. You're so strong and so confident, you don't bother really about these things. It's not even that you have contempt for them. You understand. They are wasting their time in gossip. All right. Hopefully they will learn better and change their lives. So that is shanti. I once was in an ashram and was walking with the senior monk there. It was school. The students standing around. So one day we used to walk with the particular path we used to walk by every day. That day suddenly he said, no, let's take the other path. I said, why? He said, those students were standing there. They were talking about us, about me. So we won't go that way. You see, so interesting. I would be interested in knowing what they're talking about me. He said, because they're talking about us, we will not listen. It was a great lesson for me. This is shanti. Now, Arjava means straightforwardness. Sri Ramakrishna gave great importance on this. Simplicity. And he said, Manush shesh janme sharal. It's a characteristic of the last life, that this is the life in which you will get moksha. Simplicity. One characteristic of saints in all religions, those are truly spiritual, in all traditions, not just Advaita Vedanta, you will see they're simple. Not foolish. Foolish and simple are very different. Simplicity is the innocence you get at the end of knowledge, wisdom. Foolishness is before wisdom. The kind of innocence which you get back at the end of. All these sadhus I have seen, especially the great sadhus I have seen myself, very simple. They may be vastly learned, not all of them. Some may be very simple, may not be very learned also. Some may be vastly learned, very qualified, very in-depth knowledge of philosophy, Sanskrit, Vedanta, but also very, very childlike, very simple. It's a great quality to have. Swami Vivekananda said, how should we live our life? Combine utmost simplicity with great seriousness. Combine utmost simplicity. Combine childlike, sorry, this is the exact quote. Combine childlike simplicity with utmost seriousness. Childlike simplicity with utmost seriousness. We do just the opposite. We combine a lot of complexity. We are very complicated people inside. And how do we live our life? With utmost superficiality. Lives are complex and superficial. How are we spending our days? What are the activities? What are we engaged in day-to-day life? And how are we inside? We are complex inside, outside superficial. Swami Vivekananda says just the opposite. Be childlike simplicity inside and let your lives be very serious lives. Combine childlike simplicity with utmost seriousness. And see, the beauty of teachings by people like Vivekananda is they are perfect exemplars of their teaching. If you look at the life of Vivekananda, one American lady here, she was a host to Vivekananda. He reminded us of a great big boy, like a child, like a boy, little boy, very simple. At the same time, look at the seriousness of his life. What did he do in his life? In his short life, less than 40, he used to say, I won't live to see 40. And in the last 10 years of his life, when he came to the World Parliament of Religions, 1893 to 1902, he came here, he opened the doors of ancient Indian wisdom to come into the West. He built a bridge over which traveled for the last 100 years. Swamis, yogis, lamas, the scholars who have been transmitting yoga, Vedanta, Buddhism, Jainism, all the combined spiritual heritage of India has been being spread to US and to the West. That bridge he built, the doors he opened, the interest he created, that prestige he generated. One. Then he went back to India and roused his countrymen to a sense of their own national heritage, their own pride, and then kick-started the national freedom movement. All of this in less than 10 years, he was ready to go. By 40, he went. Seriousness, utmost seriousness. What a life. Extraordinary life. He created an age. This age we live in, more and more you will see as decades and centuries go by, people will give more and more credit to Vivekananda. They are actually living in the age of Vivekananda. He was the spiritual father of this age. Two new books, just it's not relevant, but two new books which are coming out, they're beginning to recognize. One by Swami Medhananda, Ayan Maharaj, has written a book, Vedantic Cosmopolitanism of Swami Vivekananda. Oxford University Press has published it. Remarkable book. It's just been published this year. And another book which is going to be released in October. Professor Ruth Harris, who is a historian in Oxford University. Name of the book is Vivekananda, Guru to the World. And it says that we are actually living in the age which was made by Vivekananda. This is a historian from Oxford University. The book is going to be released. But anyway, my point was how simple he was. How childlike and simple. And extreme seriousness, life of extreme seriousness. So this is arjava, straightforwardness, simplicity combined with seriousness. There is a Gadadhara Stotra written about Sri Ramakrishna, which describes Sri Ramakrishna as Shishu Saumyam Agamya Varam, as wholesome and, like we would say today, cute, like a child. Next, the phrase is Agamya, unapproachable in his majesty and glory. So this combination of absolute simplicity and deep spirituality, and very high spirituality. This is Riju, straightforwardness, Arjavam. Then next it says, there is a deeper Advaitic meaning behind Arjavam. See, consciousness is one. Imagine light which comes to the sky. It's one light. In a church, some churches have stained glass windows, multiple colors. So when you're inside the church, you will see different beams of light coming. Red, blue, green, yellow. Because the same light is now passing through the colored glass. Similarly, it is one consciousness. What is that one consciousness? Kshetragya, you. But passing through the mind, different vrittis are coming in the mind. Then further passing through the eyes, ears, nose, the sense organs, different modalities of experience. The same consciousness now appears split up into a varieties of conscious experience. That which was riju, straight, has now appears to be kutila. Kutila means crooked or winding this way and that way. But all the time it is nothing but light. It's consciousness alone. So our real nature is that one consciousness. Falling upon the mind and the senses, it seems to be scattered into so many varieties, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Never forget, it is consciousness. It is none other than God. Then it says, Acharya Upasanam Shaucham. Acharya Upasanam. Worship of the Guru or service to the Guru. Now, why is this stressed so much? In Vedanta we stress this very much. In Hinduism in general, especially in Vedanta. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Reva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. We salute Guru as Guru, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Guru is Parabrahma, Satchidananda, we are saying Guru. In Guru Gita it's there, Ajnana Timirandasya, Jnananjana Shalakaya, Chakshur Unmilitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. the darkness is removed by light of knowledge. But the way it is like said is very interesting. Shalaka is that there's no way of translating it. Kajal, they say that collyrium which women put on their eyes. Also, when the Devi's eyes are drawn, they say that the eyes are opened by the artisan who puts a little stick with kajal in that and opens and makes the eyes of the Devi in the statue. Durga Puja, if you think of it. So, like that, what is that stick? That kajal? Vedanta, Upanishad, Gita, Brahma Sutra. Guru uses that to open our eyes. Jnananjana shalakaya. Chakshurunmilitam. Eyes have been opened. Whose eyes? Our eyes. To what? To what? Open to what? Aham Brahmasmi. I salute that Guru. And that Guru is not a human, just one. The human being is the channel. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, have you seen the houses in Calcutta, old British colonial houses? So there are these water drains. The spouts for rainwater will flow through them. The spouts, you will see they have different faces, like lion, tiger, monkey. And the water is coming through the same rainwater falling on the roof is flowing out through these different faces. Similarly, the source is Satchidananda. And the different faces are the different human gurus you are seeing. Actual guru power is coming from God. It is what is called Anugraha Shakti, the grace of God, coming in the form of scripture, Shastra, coming in the form of Guru. So, Mannatha Sri Jagannatha, Madguru Sri Jagadguru, Madatma Sarva Bhutatma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. I salute that Guru. Which Guru? My Lord is the Lord of the universe, Krishna. And Madguru Sri Jagadguru. My Guru is the Guru, the teacher of the world, not one individual being. And myself, who am I? Madatma Sarva Bhutatma. I am the one consciousness in all bhutas means all beings. Exactly what Krishna said. Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. That Guru I salute. Now, what is Upasana? Upasana literally means worship. So, what is this worship? Literally, if you look at the words, Upa Asana. Asana means sitting. Upa means near. Sitting near the Guru means, will you always keep sitting near the Guru? My seat should be next to you. No, what it means is, where the Guru is sitting. Where is the Guru sitting? Guru is sitting in Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. What is the realization of the Guru? I must make my seat near that. Where is the Guru centered? I am sitting nicely in samsara. Body, mind. I have made my seat in Kshetra, field. Guru has made his seat in Kshetrajna, knower of the field. So I must sit near him. My asana should be near the Guru means my realization should be near the Guru's realization. My internal state should be like near the Guru's state. It's such a great solution to our problems. All this we are discussing, 20 practices we are discussing. One practice, Acharya Upasana. One practice is enough to take care of Kama, Krodha, Lobha. You know why? When I sit near the Guru, Upasana, near the Acharya, near the Guru, when the problems come in life, every moment to moment, I think, how will the Guru handle this? What would the Guru think? What will the Guru say? What will the Guru do? Then if I am Upasana, sitting near the Guru, my reaction should be the same in this situation. God, Krishna, very difficult. It's a matter of belief. We are reading books and trying to understand. Satchidananda, pure consciousness, even more difficult, sounds theoretical. But the Guru, if you have taken mantra diksha, if you have a relationship with the Guru, try to see and then try to visualize internally and then react to life like that. You see, the progress will be much faster. Because it's a reality for us already. Guru is a reality for us. Somebody asked a very senior monk in our main monastery in Belur, Swami, what should be my relationship with my brother monks? They are also brahmacharis like me. I am a brahmachari. They are also brahmacharis like me. What should be my relation with them? What a beautiful answer. I've never forgotten. The senior Swami said, the relation you have with your Guru mentally have the same relation with everybody. What a beautiful life it will. You don't have to tell anybody. Mentally. What a reverential attitude. And that's not false, that's not imagination. Because if what Krishna is saying, that Krishna is present as the Kshetragni in all beings, literally that must be the real ground relationship with everybody. Any other relationship which you have set up with others, friend, enemy, I like, I dislike, those are worldly. Those are based on Kshetra, field, not on Kshetragni. So Acharya Upasanam, one short solution to all our spiritual problems. That if I can sit near the Acharya, literally Acharya Upasana means sitting near the Acharya, near the Guru's realization, inner mental state of the Guru. Look at Vivekananda's picture, sitting in meditation. We see the posture, we see the expression. Now can you try to imagine, what is he thinking? What is he feeling inside? How glorious, how noble, how high those thoughts and feelings must be. And what is his realization? What does he think of himself? Who am I? If you ask Vivekananda, what does he feel inside? And for him, it's a fact, not a sadhana, not a practice. It's a fact. So, Acharya Upasanam, he says, Shaucham. Cleanliness, we all learned cleanliness is next to godliness. It's true. Externally clean, internally clean. Antara Bahi. External, physically, surrounding should be clean. In our main monastery, senior monks would come and check if bedding is clean or not, room is clean or not, dress is clean or not. One brahmachari, he was a little lazy about, brilliant man, but lazy about cleaning the clothes and all. So, a group of German Vedantists had come to visit our monastery and they were being taken around by a Swami. And Swami was explaining, those who are wearing white, are brahmachari. Those who are wearing saffron, they are Swamis. Then that brahmachari passed by. So the Germans, they asked, why is he wearing grey? Dirty. One senior Swami saw him, head of the entire organization, general secretary, and he said, that Swami, that brahmachari himself told me, today General Secretary Maharaj, who's the executive head of the entire Ramakrishna Math and Mission, he saw me, he said, hey, come here, will you do one thing for me? Yes, Swami, what? Give me your clothes, I will wash them myself. So, Shaucham, external cleanliness, and more important, internal cleanliness. Internal cleanliness, bhava samshuddhi. Anger, lust, greed, these should be cleaned out. Peace, self-control, contentment, these should be brought in. Deepest cleanliness inside, the mala, that is the impurity, I am body, mind, that should be cleaned out. I am consciousness, that should be the reality within. So this is Shaucham. Stairyam and Atma Vinigraha, very important. One teaching which is necessary for success in worldly life and in spiritual life. Stairyam means steadiness. I like this nice shot and the nice saying. Big shot, they say in America, big shot. Who is a big shot? It's a little shot who keeps shooting. Big shot. So steadiness. Steadiness is very important. The steadiness in ritual. Vedas divided into three parts. Karma, Upasana, Jnana. Ritualistic steadiness. I have performed Sandhya Vandana all my life, last 40 years. Very good. That's steadiness. Upasana, meditation. I have myself seen. I was once hospitalized in the hospital. I was young. And I thought, oh, I'm sick now. So I don't have to do morning and evening meditation. IV drip was going on. So I thought I would lie in the bed and do the japa. I did that. Then I saw another senior Swami who had been taken for an operation, 80 plus years. We brought him back. And after the anesthesia wore off, I was lying down in the bed. I did not get sleep at night. Night I saw Brahma Muhurta, more than 4 a.m., before 4 a.m. in the morning. This Swami, 80 plus years, who has been operated for serious illness, struggling up in bed, facing the wall, sitting straight, ramrod straight, 2 hours meditation. Why? Stadium. He has done it his whole life. We think it's amazing, but it's for him. If you do it, it will be regular practice for him. This is steadiness. These are things I have seen, I cannot forget. I relax and lie back and sleep in the night, or try to sleep. Because I could not sleep, I saw interesting things. This is a place where old sick monks were there. One monk whom I saw, very senior monk, normal, talking with everybody else, gossiping, having fun. At night, when everybody is sleeping, or he thinks everybody is sleeping, but I was not sleeping, I was watching. Suddenly, this old monk got up. The same cataract operation. He had cataract operation. Timira dosha. He got up. And he had a little, what we call tiffin box in India, tin box. I used to be curious, what is in that? I never saw that. At night, he opened it. He opened it carefully. Picture of Sri Ramakrishna, Masharada, Swami Vivekananda. He took it out. Whole night, he sat on the bed and did meditation. He's doing japa and meditation whole night. Before early morning, the brothers will come for a round in the hospital. Quietly closed it. And then he went, I pretended like going back to sleep. When sun rose, others are getting up. He is sleeping. Old monk and sleeping. I know the secret. So next day in the morning, I told him, Maharaj, I know your secret. Whole night, what you were doing, I watched. He was embarrassed. He laughed. He said, oh, in Bengali, he said, oh, Ami to Nishachar. Nishachar means Rakshas, demon. Demons come out at night. I am a demon. This is Dhairyam, steadiness. It's not that he has suddenly developed it at that time. A whole life practice, steady. This is called Dhairyam in yoga, in upasana. Dhairyam in karma, daily observance of whatever ritual puja you are doing till the last moment, till it is not possible anymore to do. Till that time, you must go on. There may come a time when it is not possible to do anymore. Physically ill, weakness may come. But till that time, do it. Then Stairyam in upasana, meditation, japa and dhyana. These are examples. Stairyam in jnana, shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Till the very end of one's life. I've seen so many such monks in the Himalayas also, Advaitis. Nothing is there in their life. One little hut or a cave. Food which is begged once in a day. Whole day spent in Gita Upanishads. It's not that they are reading like a library, reading list one after another, finishing books. Not even that. One Swami told me, you don't read, you flip. Do you want to see what is reading? There's one Swami, his name was Shikshanandaji. Shiksha means giving instructions. Actually, Shiksha is another meaning. In Taittiriya Upanishad, it means the Vedic chanting. Shikshavalli. Anyway, go and see what is reading. So I went. We used to go and see. That Swami was very old at that time. There's a place called Arogya Bhavan in our main monastery in Belur, where old Swamis were sick. They stay there. So I went to see him. Whenever I went to see him, this old Swami, he would be sitting there, Upanishad, Shankara Bhashya, open, those armchairs, with their big armchairs in old days, wooden armchairs. He would be lying back on that, and on that wooden handle would be there. On that, the Shankara Bhashya, Upanishad, Shankara Bhashya is placed, he is reading. If I do pranam to him, Maharaj, I'm so and so, I've come to do pranam. Then go back again. It's not that he is reading something new. He is keeping his mind there. Stairyam. That is Stairyam in Shravana. Sri Ramakrishna saw one sadhu in Dakshineshwar. He's always reading a book. What are you reading? All the time. One little book. He opened the book and he saw every page full of Rama, 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 Rama. There's only one word. He's reading that with great joy. That is Stairyam. So Stairyam in Shravana. Jnana Stairyam means, steadiness in Jnana means the Jnana which is free of two defects, doubt and contrary. That is Asambhavana and Viparita Bhavana. Asambhavana means doubtful knowledge. I have read this, I have understood this, but many doubts are there and I am shaky about it. That is gone. And contrary tendencies. I have done this, I have read this, I have understood it, but these 20 qualities are not in my life. My behaving oppositely. I have one understanding, but my behavior is opposite. Then it's not steady. Steady is what I have understood, that is also in my life. No more doubt about it. Aham Brahmasmi, absolutely steady, indubitable knowledge, that is Dhairyam. As a result of this Dhairyam comes Atma Vinigraha, self-control. See, one interesting thing about Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, it does not tell you to become a monk. Many people mistake this. It's because the one part reason is Shankaracharya's open preference for monks. But actually, in practical life, look, in this book, Krishna is not a monk, Arjuna is not a monk. And after Bhagavad Gita teaching, neither Krishna nor Arjuna became monks. The kings, Janaka, and Yajnavalkya himself, he became a monk, but when in the Vedaranyaka Upanishad, you find somebody told me, Aapka hero, Yajnavalkya, who's the hero of Vedanta? The great Yajnavalkya in Vedaranyaka Upanishad. He was a married person. So, it's not that formally you have to become a monk. You can engage in all action in the world, every kind of activity in the world. But your mind and body and senses should be under control. Kathopanishad, Yamaraja says, chariot is there, horses are there. You're going on a journey. Journey is the journey of life towards enlightenment. You are the passenger. He does not say stop the chariot. He does not say set free the horses. No, train the horses. Sadashtva, he says, well-trained horses which respond to your commands. That's our 10 sense organs, sense and organs and motor organs. Then the mind should be mindful. He uses the word mindful. Now very popular nowadays. Thousands of years ago, you know what the word used in Kathopanishad? Samanaska, mindful. Not distracted, focus. And then intellect, Vijnanavan Sarati. Intellect should be fed with, immersed in Vedantic thought. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Such an intellect, such a mind, such a set of sense organs, this is what is called Atma Vinigraha. He is not saying stop the journey. No, you must go on the journey of life. Krishna is telling Arjuna, don't run away. You fight this battle of life. I will show you how to fight. I will show you how to turn karma into karma yoga. So, Vedanta tells you to engage in life, not disengage with life, but gives you the knowledge by how you can transform this engagement into spiritual practice. What kind of spirituality tells you? Stop all this. Come to the cave, to the mountain, give up all this. Strongly monastic, some traditions are there. Householder cannot get nirvana. Only bhikkhu can get nirvana. In Jainism, it goes even further. You have to be a monk to get kaivalya. That too not in one life. That too two orders are there. One order will look down on the other. Shvetambara and Digambara. You are wearing only white cloth. You cannot get liberation. We have taken away all clothes and we are naked. So only we can get liberation. So it goes on like that. Now here Atma Vinigraha Gita says every activity can go on. But what we are saying is the senses should be under control like the well-trained horses. The mind should be tightly held in focus. Samanaska, mindful mind. And intellect should be enriched with Vedantic thought. With this Vedantic idea of I am the Kshetragya, Aham Brahmasmi. Then engage in life. Don't withdraw from life. Now, we'll take a couple of questions. We'll stop here today. And if anybody wants to ask a question, you can come here. Yes, please come here. Tell us your name and ask the question. Tell us your name.
My name is Arnab Paul. Thanks for the nice explanation with example. I just have one question from your explanation. Is so when you explain that when I see somebody doing something wrong and I do nothing about it, it's powerless, right? It's you say tamashik power, and at the same time I have to hold. I should forgive that person. So now, if I can forgive everything, then I probably not be able to take some action on it. So it seems to be conflicting. So you have.
No, you can forgive internally. Forgive means actually when somebody has injured you directly. Then the question of forgiveness comes. So the question is, if I forgive somebody else, then how can I take action against the wrongdoer? That's the Now, forgiving means if somebody hurts me, I forgive immediately. That should be my attitude. But allowing a person to keep on doing the wrong things is also not right. It is harmful for the organization, it is harmful for the family, it is harmful for that person. If your own child keeps on doing wrong things, will you allow it? I forgive. Let the person do whatever. No, you know that person is going to end up in a serious situation. That's why you must help that person. And that can be done without any anger. Right? It should be done without anger. See, in HR departments, when you have to counsel somebody, correct somebody, reprimand somebody, you have to do it. It's your duty. Will you do it out of revengefulness or anger or hatred? No. So that's what is being said here. But here the deeper philosophy is being given. See, the person we are interacting with is Satchidananda Brahma. The reason that person is acting in that way is the layer of the mind, which has that kind of conditioning, making that person an angry person, petty person, jealous person, or revengeful person. So we have to, in all understanding, deal with the person at that level. That's all. Tell us your name and everything.
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Shankar. I've been grappling with the question of how do I develop more moksha? And it seems like from the perspective of the path of knowledge, the answer is to develop viveka by moksha. However, in my own experience, it seems as though to come up with the effort to engage in the practices to develop those qualities requires moksha for itself. I feel like almost a catch point.
Right.
So my question is, for the common person, is suffering necessary to develop moksha?
All right. So I'll answer at two levels. First of all, as you said, there is a secret to learn about this mumukshutva. Mumukshutva means intense desire for freedom. And this is most important. Sri Ramakrishna, whenever he would be asked, what is necessary for getting God realization? What will guarantee? Tell me one thing. And he would say, Vyakulata. If you intensely want it, you will get it. If you intensely want God, you will get it. Whether in a bhakti way or jnana, in the jnana way, it is called mumukshutva. The intense desire for freedom. Now, it is difficult to do that. It's like, if I don't feel that intense desire, what can I do? You tell me, Vyakulata is necessary, intense restlessness for God. But I don't feel that. Then what can I do? I don't feel it. You can't tell me to feel something. You see, I can tell you to eat food, but can I tell you, be hungry? If I'm not hungry, I'm not hungry. I can force myself to eat the food, but I may not be hungry. And eat is a command. I can, like if you tell me to eat, I will follow that command. But if you tell me, be hungry, I can't follow that command. Worship God, I can do it. If you tell me, love God, unless I feel it, how? Similarly, mumukshutva. However, there is a way out. What Vedanta says is mumukshutva is at the end of a chain. And the chain has these fourfold qualities. We always say the quality is required in Vedanta. To engage in Vedanta successfully, you need sadhan chatushtaya sampatti. Viveka, the discernment between eternal and non-eternal. Vairagya, a dispassion for the non-eternal. Then the Shat Sampatti, the sixfold treasure, 6 disciplines. Shama, calmness of mind. Dhamma, control of the sense organs. You see, all of these are somehow worked in. These 20 qualities Krishna is saying is there. Dhamma. Then Titiksha, a spiritual toughness. No matter what the problems are, I will persist in my quest for liberation. So, Titiksha. Then Uparati, a withdrawal from too much engagement with worldly activities and delights. Then, having withdrawn, Samadhana, that means focus. Now I have time, I have energy, I have reduced my worldly concerns. That extra time and energy, let me focus on my spiritual practices, Samadhana. And then Shraddha. Shraddha is a faith that what is said here, it is true. I don't understand it yet, I haven't realized it yet, but let me persist, I will realize. So Shat Sampatti. Have I got all the 6? Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, then Samadhana, and then Shraddha. And then intense desire for freedom. Now, the secret to understand here is they are causally linked to each other. If I find one of them is weak, people say, I don't have dispassion, Swamiji. I'm attracted to things in the world, or I have attachment. I don't have dispassion. Don't struggle there. The teaching is go back to the earlier stage and strengthen that. You will see this will become easier. So, if my vairagya is weak, instead of trying to forcefully give up things, let me intensify my viveka. Let me study Vedantic texts, let me think well upon the Gita, and let me read the lives of enlightened people, great vairagis, let me read them. It will come into the story. It will become easier, vairagya. So mumukshutvam is the end of the chain. If I say how to strengthen mumukshutvam, you start with the sixfold treasure. Intensify those disciplines. Not working. Then go back to vairagya. Dispassion first. Not working. Then go back to viveka. Viveka is something we can engage in. Viveka is an activity. Study Vedanta. Regularly hold on to a course of Vedanta. Think about Vedanta. Read the lives of great spiritual seekers. That will increase Viveka. Viveka will lead to Vairagya. Vairagya will strengthen the sixfold practices, the six treasures. Then you will see automatically Mumukshutvam is increasing in our lives. But that's a long journey. We are all in that same boat. Oh, and another thing, he said, suppose Viveka itself is, it's not real in my life. I have no desire. Vedanta, I go there, but I feel sleepy. This book, sometimes I read. Somebody told me at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, a few years ago. Are you saying that in the midst of the pandemic, now this thing has come, here we have to read Vedanta now? See, this is the time when you need Vedanta. Many people have told me that they became more and more seriously interested in spiritual life during the pandemic. But some people are skeptical. They say, in pandemic, you have to read Vedanta. What does that mean? When will I go to Vedanta? It's a nice philosophical lecture, some lecture in ancient Indian philosophy. When everything is fine, when I have leisure, when I have interest, no problems in life, then I will listen to your lecture once in a while. That's it. But when there is problem, pandemic, I might lose my job, I cannot leave my room. At that time, you're telling me to listen to Vedanta. What nonsense. That is the time to listen to Vedanta. If that interest also is not there, then what you said is correct. Then what will happen to such a person? Life will teach. Life will become so difficult and intolerable, we will look for a solution. So ultimately, you'll come to spiritual life. That is there for everybody. Many people became interested in spirituality during the pandemic. What will happen to them? Two categories. One, they have got an interest and they will carry on with this for the rest of their lives. Another, once the restrictions are lifted, they will bounce back. Economy will bounce back, they will also bounce back and bounce out of spirituality. It's inevitable. Some will be like that. At least that much experience was required. This has happened after every pandemic. I was reading an article about the last pandemic 100 years ago. So suddenly in 1922-23, when the pandemic was over, huge burst of consumerism. And that was in those days. Now you can imagine what is going to happen this year, next year. So,
my question is about the archery nature as consciousness with the Atman, and how to reconcile that, especially during meditation, but while sitting in meditation, but just in general to telling oneself, I am the witness consciousness, I am consciousness. If I can name it, I am not it. But also, we learned that consciousness is infinite, and so there can't be anything outside of what is infinite. So, if we dwell on the idea that I'm not this, I'm not what I can see, and at the same time I am everything, how do we keep that in mind?
So, you're asking about Vedantic meditation. For that, I would strongly recommend in Drigdrishya Viveka, there are 6 techniques towards the end of it. Have you seen them?
Yes.
Then you notice what they do. This is the difference between yogic meditation and Vedantic meditation. Yogic meditation is focus. Our minds are naturally scattered. They go here and there. What yogic meditation says is, if your mind goes here and there, bring it back to the mantra. Bring it back to Ishta Devata. I'm doing Om Namah Shivaya. I'm focusing on the visualizing the image of Shiva. This is one kind of yogic meditation. It's upasana. Now my mind goes here and there. I bring it back. Om Namah Shivaya. Somewhere again it goes. Bring it back. Om Namah Shivaya. The yogic meditation. What Vedantic meditation does, for example, Trigdrishya Viveka. I am the consciousness to which everything appears. So whatever appears in my mind, it is appearing in consciousness. So that will turn me back towards consciousness. Kamadhyastittagadashya tat sakshittvena chetanam. Whatever is appearing in the mind, he says in that book Trigdrishya Viveka, desire, anger, greed, even negative things which are appearing in the mind, they are all appearing to consciousness. Notice, instead of trying to bring your mind away from that negative thought, focus on that negative thought and see that it is appearing in consciousness. Back to consciousness. Some other thought comes, disturbs you. You see that is appearing in consciousness. You're back to consciousness. Just like whatever I see, all of it is being seen by the same organ, the eyes. So I see you, I'm reminded of my eyes. Suppose I'm focusing on the eyes. How will I focus? Whatever I say, if I ask, the difference between yogic meditation is like, focus on that flower. Look at that flower continuously. If you look here and there, no, look at that flower. That is yogic meditation. Advaitic meditation is that you're looking at the flower, your eyes are looking at the flower. Be aware of that. Your eyes look somewhere else. You're looking at that man, eyes are looking at that man. You look at the garden, eyes are looking at the garden. Whatever you see are reminding you of the eyes. This example, you don't think about your eyes in a Vedanta meditation. You are focusing on witness consciousness. So, yeah. We'll end with this question. Tell us your name.
Vinod Goyal. And I have a quick question. I've been aware of the separation of mind and body, but still I'm having struggles with dealing with physical and mental pain. There is no difference whatsoever. Any recommendations, suggestions?
Yes, separation of mind and body, not separation of mind and body. Mind and body are separate from me. If mind and body are separate from me, pain, as you said, physical pain, mental pain, there are only these two kinds of pain. Where is the physical pain? Where is the mental pain? Physical pain is in the body. Mental pain is in the mind. It's a painful thought or emotion. It's a painful sensation in the body. Right? Both are appearing to consciousness. Pain is not in consciousness. I am consciousness. I am aware of the pain of the body. I am aware of the painful thought. I am aware of the painful emotion. It's a minor adjustment to make. Uttarakhand one sadhu said, "Jo jahan hai Mahatma ji, usko wahi rakh rehne do." Don't misplace things, oh Mahatma ji. Wherever the things belong to, where the place they belong to, keep them there. Where does pain belong to? We say, I am in pain. No, wait. You are aware of the pain, of course. If you are aware of the pain, where is the pain? In the elbow or in my knees, sharp pain. So, pain is in the knees, not in me, the consciousness. I reveal the pain in the knees. What good that will do? What will that do? It will still do some good. If the strong knowledge is there, I, the consciousness, am free of the pain. Before the pain, I am there. During the pain, I am there. After the pain, I am there. If the pain was intrinsically connected with me, the consciousness, it should be there all the time. Thankfully, it is not. So, pleasure and pain, they are in the body, in the mind, and I am the witness of them, ever free from them. Just think like that. At the moment of sharp pain, it will not reduce the pain. You see, your reaction to the pain will change. It will not be so desperate, so unhappy. Bhagavan Buddha says, what is suffering? He says, suffering is like a man hit by two arrows. First arrow is what the world throws at you. Illness, sickness, misbehavior of others, old age, disease, death. It will come. Krishna will say, first arrow. Second arrow which hits you is my own reaction to it. And maximum suffering is caused by my own reaction to it. Bhagavan Buddha says, what I'm teaching you, whole of Buddhism, is how to deal with the suffering of that second arrow. First arrow, I cannot do anything. For first arrow, you have all the worldly solutions. You can take a painkiller, you can do some exercise, you can go to a therapist. So all sorts of worldly solutions will give little adjustments to the pain problem. They cannot solve it. But internally, my reaction can be many of you are doctors. You know how serious problems, two patients react so differently. Everybody has experienced this. That means the problem is not so much in the body as in the mind. The reaction in the mind makes all the difference. So spirituality helps us deal with that second arrow. And there are so many things in the world, medical treatments and many things are there in the world which will help us to deal with the first arrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you, Maharaj. Final session of the retreat is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Also, one additional announcement, starting September 2nd, we have a retreat by Swami Sarvapriyananda on Nine Bhakti Sutras that will include guided meditation. Thank you.